a little bit of prior explanation, which you will understand momentarily. I love jazz, and back in the 1930s up through the 50s, jazz and popular music existed in the same world. The main source that jazz musicians took inspiration from were show tunes and new release Broadway musicals and Billboard top 40 hits. Even when bebop started to take jazz in new directions, the subgenre of hard bop still took inspiration from soul, R&B, and early rock and roll music that was developing at the same time. And it wasn't until a little while later on that jazz started going its completely own new little direction. Jazz got more and more esoteric, and it got further and further away from popular music that was getting played on the radio. And the musicians liked it that way. For the most part, they turned their nose up at anything that wasn't jazz because they didn't think it was real music, and it's basically been that way ever since. Anyone who has been in my car while my iPod has been playing for more than like a couple minutes knows that I have really broad, weird taste in music. I can go from listening to a Miles Davis album to listening to the Backstreet Boys, which yes, are a guilty pleasure of mine. And then that can be followed up with a Beethoven sonata or something. So I mean, I have a lot of musical loves going on. One of the biggest questions in music is, what is jazz? And there have been a lot of conflicting answers, and people have gotten some very, very heated arguments over it. But no matter what the answer they give, not a lot of people have said that jazz can be pop or pop can be jazz. And for Senior Showcase, I wanted to challenge that notion. And I know that jazz is never going to be like the popular music again. It's not going to be fighting for Billboard Top 40 or iTunes bestseller space like Kid Cudi, Taylor Swift, Sarah Harris, One Direction. But I wanted to show that there doesn't have to be antagonism between the two of them. I wanted to show that jazz can be pop and pop can be jazz, and both genres can be friends again. To make my point, I wanted to choose the most extremely not jazz song possible to turn into a jazz song. So naturally I chose LMFAO's Party Rock Anthem. It's a bit ridiculous, and I know that, and it's pretty funny to hear at first. I mean, if you laugh, I'm not offended or anything like that, but I just wanted to clear up the fact that I didn't intend this to be a joke necessarily, and even though I know it's funny, the reason it's funny is because you would never think of LMFAO being adapted to jazz music, and that's kind of the point. If Party Rock Anthem can be a jazz song, then imagine what better songs could also be turned into jazz songs and really make it work. So my goal has been to bridge genres and show jazz musicians don't have to be snobs, and pop musicians don't have to be mindless, and the two of them can come together to make something really awesome. So with that in mind, I am pleased to present, and I really hope you enjoy, Party Rock Samba.